Welcome back to our channel to try and use.
Yeah.
If you're a new subscriber, we're so glad you're here. If you're a returning subscriber, wagwan!
What up?
So today we have an exciting topic. Well, not so
Very
exciting.
Very excited.
But it's absolutely important because it's about
Money. Moolah. Guapo.
So, let's get into the video.
Yeah.
Our topic today that we're going to be talking about is budgeting, and it's a really important topic that Lee and we discuss, we practice. Sometimes, we fall out because we're all humans, but it's absolutely important, and so we wanted to share that with you guys today. Before we start, the teacher in me forces me to define something. And so, for those of you who don't know, might know, here's a little refresh. What's budgeting?
What is budgeting? Please tell the audience.
Budgeting is simply put making a plan for your money. That's it. It's no big whole thing that any of us can't do. It's simply making a plan for your money. Because you know what they say. If you don't make a plan, you
Plan to fail.
fail. That's
So
right.
if you don't make a plan for your money is planning to fail. It's planning to fail you, it's planning to leave your pockets.
That's right.
Your purse, your wallet, wherever you keep it, your mattress, it's planning to leave wherever you got it.
That's right. Because one thing we know about money is that it's fluid. It just woo.
Flow.
Yes.
Hence the word currency.
Wow, I never thought about that.
See,
Wow.
I know a little something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, currency. It just keeps
Yeah,
moving.
man.
I like that. So we wanted to share with you, the first time we created a budget, and then we're going to share with you 4 things to consider when creating your budget. Do you remember the first time we made our budget?
Yes, I wasn't too happy with it. Trust me, I'm not the best budgeting person. Let me not front. I don't do budget. Budgeting is new to me. But yeah.
Yeah, so we had mentors and they were telling us or educating us about the importance of putting a budget together. I had always sort of known about budgeting because my parents were heavy in money management and just making sure every dollar is accounted for. But when you get into that adult world where it's your money and you need to decide how it's gonna be, it's a whole different ball game. When you're a kid and you're learning about money management, all you really have is your lunch money. But now you have actual bills. And so this was a very important process for us. We had to get vulnerable. We had to actually share not just our income, but the expenses that we had. And we had to detail them one by one. It was a very intrusive process.
Very much so. And I'm a live on the edge type of guy. You feel me? But over the years, months, whatever, I realized that budgeting is really important. It's really important to budget, and you get to see, what your money could do for you.
Exactly. Not only you see what it could do for you, but you see what it's already doing. You know if it's been lazy, you know if it's been slacking off, and you know if you need to course correct. So that's what this video is all about today. We're going to be doing a course correction. Creating a budget isn't necessarily only creating savings. That's a big part of budgeting, but the budget is your overall plan for your money. Okay. There are 4 things that you want to consider when you're going to set up your budget. And number 1, it's assign every dollar a role. Okay?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Let us know what that means.
every single dollar needs to be accounted for. It needs a function, it needs a purpose, because money, like humans, when they don't have a purpose, it just slags and slags, and you're like, why are you here?
Gets lazy.
Exactly. And then it falls in the wrong hands. All right, so let's say you got paid $100, just for easy math. You got paid $100 and you're like, wow, I'm $100 rich. And you said to yourself, oh, I'm gonna go and have fun tonight. And so you're like, okay, $50 out of this is for fun. And then you go, you have a great time. But then what happens is next week, your phone bill is due. But
Boom.
Yeah, you didn't pay attention to that. And so now your phone bill is due and it's $30. And then the next thing you know, you had to go to the vet, and then that's $15. And then the next thing you know, you had to top up the groceries, and that was $15. Girl, now you're in trouble now, because you done spent that $50 already, because you didn't assign every dollar a role. So you're gonna get your piece of paper and your pen, and every budget doesn't have to look the same way. Our budget right now is not as strict. It's written out on a calendar, literally.
It's strict. Our budget is strict. Very strict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every dollar is accounted for, but it's what I mean by strict is it's not this sheet, like this long sheet. It's just a calendar written out with all the money and all the bills and what needs to be paid by when. So it gives us
visibility.
Visibility, yes.
Yeah, because when you see it, when you see it, you know exactly kind of like what's going on,
Exactly.
Get an idea what direction things are going in.
Account for every single dollar. It doesn't matter, everything. And that's gonna lead me into my next point, which is to embrace your true expense. A lot of us, unfortunately, don't know what we actually spend.
Yeah.
Like when you say to yourself, what do I actually spend? Why don't I have any money at the end of the month? You'd be surprised if you actually wrote it down, what you would discover. So let's say you make $1,000, right? You're gonna have that at the top of the budget sheet. $1,000, that's my income. If you babysit and you make another 100, you're gonna put that in there. If you took our advice and started Airbnb and made an extra 500, you're gonna put that in there as well. And you're just gonna put every single dollar that you make on the sheet at the top. And then you're gonna start by naming out one by one your exact expenses, and you're gonna start with the biggest. The biggest expense we know of is rent or mortgage, or just living, like
or car note,
accommodation. That's the biggest. And then move from that into your car note or your transportation costs, because some people don't have a car but they take the bus, and that's a real big expense. So that's your next one. And then what comes next? You gotta eat. So that's gonna be the next one, food. And then if you're a maintenance person, you do your hair, you get your hair cut, you do your nails, you do your eyelashes. Girls and guys, we do a lot to maintain this self, okay? You gotta put all of that in the budget as well. So if at the end of the month you spend $200, you can't shy away from that and say, oh, I only spent $40 on my toes. You spend $200, honey, and you need to write $200. So if you have an iPhone and you pay for iCloud, you need to write that down. If you have an Amazon membership and you pay that $12,
$15.
Oh,
$15.99.
Oh Lord, have mercy. And you pay that $15 every month.
It just came out today, so that's why I remember.
Okay. You need to write that down, okay? If you buy supplements, you need to write that down. If you have a business that you invest in, you need to write that down. If you give money to your grandparents, you need to write that down. Every single dollar needs to be written down to the T, okay? And then this is gonna lead me into the fun section. You're gonna define your goals that you have for yourself. So let's say you write it down and you see that everything that you've written down comes up exactly to the amount of money you made, and you're disheartened. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is atrocious. This is gonna lead me into my next point. You wanna age your money. And that simply means you're gonna stop living from check to check. It's the greatest way to start seeing growth in your financial stability. And looking for cuts. Let's say you see your money, you only make 1,500, and at the end of the at the end of the month, you have spent 1,500. That's not right. That needs to stop. So you're gonna first do the easiest thing, which is look to cut. All right. So if you notice that, okay, you have 10 memberships, 10 subscriptions, girl, guy, you only got 2 eyes. You do not need 10 subscriptions. Okay? You're gonna have to choose.
And by the way, everybody cuts. Corporation cuts.
Yeah.
So whenever you see a corporation let go, like a lot of employees, I think Google just did it. Amazon just did it. I'm pretty sure when the accountants, it comes down to budgeting. When the accountants go in that balance sheet and they look and they say, you know what? We're serving lunch over here, buffet style. I think we don't need that.
No.
So when they look at all the expenses, they looking like, okay, you know what? We could trim this because we really don't need this.
Exactly.
We don't need this. We really don't need this. Let's trim the fat here and here. So cuts are important.
Yes.
So don't think like, hey, oh man, I can't cut this because I need this. Sometimes you feel you need something you really don't.
Honestly.
To be honest.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And let's say you're a person, you have all these dreams, you have all these goals, but yet you also have 10 subscriptions to 10 different channels, shows, and all these things. Honey, you're living contrary to your goals, okay? You just simply don't have time. So choose your favorite two and cut the rest, okay?
I would even go to the extent of saying, choose your one.
Honestly.
Yeah, choose your one. Because to be honest, we have a bunch of subscriptions. Well, it's not even ours.
Right, I was just about to say
we have subscriptions from like friends and family, and to be honest, how many of them we watch? We don't even use half of them. We might just use one, Netflix.
Majority of the time.
Yeah.
Majority of the time. And thanks for bringing that up, because that leads me into my next point. Be smart about your money, okay? You and your mom don't both need to pay for Netflix, okay? Or Hulu or Disney Plus. Share.
Yeah.
Sharing is scary.
If it allows you to share, boom, by all means.
Yes. I'm not saying to defraud the system. I'm saying to share, okay? That's two different things, all right? Yeah. So make some cuts. Make some cuts, guys. If you're going to the grocery store, you're overeating and you're overspending and you're going there every week. It's time to make some cuts, okay? You know what you need to cut out. Another key thing when you're trying to age that money is increase. Now, and what I mean is not increase your bills, babes. I mean increase your earnings, okay? So if you have an unused skill, maybe you love dogs. You need to start walking some dogs, okay? Maybe you love kids. Ask your neighbor if they need babysitting. Maybe you love cutting the grass. You need to start cutting some grass. If you're a writer, start writing, start selling. We already told you about Airbnb. Everybody should be doing that. You have no excuse. Absolutely no excuse.
Trust me, I have this thing about like second jobs. In this, and when I say second jobs, I mean physically I have a 9-to-5. I don't want another 9-to-5.
No.
I feel like in this day and age, we have so many avenues that we could earn extra money with our mind and with less effort than it is to go and get another 9-to-5. So after you leave one job, you got to go to the next job. There's so many different avenues, so many different ways.
Exactly.
Airbnb share space. Plug in that again.
Exactly. I'm so glad you brought that up. unless your situation is like dire,
Yeah.
please don't do that. Find a way to use your mind, the God given talents that you already have, and utilize that to make some sort of passive income, because otherwise you're going to end up with burnout. You're going to end up with all this stress that you don't need, and it's not worth it in the end. My final point is you're going to have to roll with the punches, guys. All right, it's not gonna be perfect. We already told you we slip up with the budget. Sometimes we just want to
Things
go
happen.
out. Yeah, sometimes we just want a nice dinner. We're
Yeah,
tired of this thing, and we go out. We spend that money. It's okay. It will happen. Maybe you're gonna get sick. God forbid, but it's a problem. Maybe the brakes on your car just decided that month it's not gonna do what it should do, and you have that added expense, right? You're gonna have to be flexible. But a key thing to help with that flexibility is you're gonna have to look forward. I was listening to a podcast one time and they said to make choices by borrowing from tomorrow's pain. Okay? So if you know that tomorrow it's possible because you're a human that something might happen, let's say you have an issue, you have to go to the emergency room, and you know there's probably a deductible of 150. Start saving that 150 from now. We call that.
And not to cut you, but a prime example of that, right? As it pertains to like car insurance, the higher the deductible, they lower your car insurance a little bit. So, for instance, if your car insurance is $150, right, and your deductible is $500, right? That 150 to the 500. But if you say, you know what, raise my deductible to $1,000, that car insurance now dropped from 150 to maybe 135. But then you know that if something should happen, you got to find that $1,000. So guess what? I have that $1,000 put away.
Exactly.
So in the long run, over time, I'm paying less on my car insurance. But that $1,000 is put away because in a way, I'm saving some money.
Exactly.
So that's a good that's a good example.
Now don't take that $20 savings and go do your hair and go pay for Netflix. Yeah. No, put that aside.
Make sure you have that money.
Okay.
So when you find a way to earn more, you put that to the side.
Yes.
For kind of like what you just said, borrowing from tomorrow's pain. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you do that, when tomorrow's pain comes up, you're not frantic. You're not, oh my gosh, now I'm gonna go in debt, now I have a credit card, now this and that. You had some money put to the side. We call this emergency funds. And it doesn't have to be this haphazard thing. You know what these already are. Maybe you might need to see the mechanic. Start saving that $600. It might be the deductible on the emergency room. Start saving that $150. All right.
And we know that times are different. We know that everything that you guys are feeling, we feel it too. We know that interest rates are high. Yeah. We know that, cost of living is high. Everything is high. And it's almost seemed like it's so dang hard to do any of this. But it's not impossible. Trust me. Because when you take a look at everything and you budget the right way, trust me, there's always little areas here and there. There's always money just leaking out. It's like it's like a hole in a bag and the money finds its way out of there. Trust me, if you dig deep enough, you realize that you could cut fat from some places. It's not impossible. It's not easy, especially in this climate, but it's not impossible, guys.
Exactly. I 100% love that. And the last tip we're going to share with you just before we wrap up, it's going to be pay yourself. You absolutely need to pay yourself, and you need to pay God because He has blessed you and He has kept you. He only asks for 10%. Find a way to make that happen, and then pay yourself at least the same 10 or maybe 5.
What are like the major differences that you have seen with what we have been doing?
The major differences I'm going to say is that I actually see the money I have and I see the gaps in the spending, and I see where we could have more money if we do this or that, and where we have a little leverage and maybe we can afford a little treat, maybe an extra date night, maybe we could travel somewhere, all of that, right? So it affords me the ability to see what's happening here and to make changes or adjustments as necessary. All right, that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
The Trine fam is out.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave us a comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye.